Hi guys, welcome to another video here on the EGL channel, the very first one for FIFA 22. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I've been grinding away, trading, building my team up, and well, just generally playing FIFA quite a bit. We've been enjoying it, and well, now it's time to get into some squads and let you guys know what other squads to go to with your budget. We went with a few different variations of a budget today, but today's video, the first one, is with the most popular league for, well, the most part, the Premier League, of course, is the one that everybody tends to go towards to. But yeah, let's jump into it straight away. If you want to listen to a 30-year-old who wears football tops in his house talks about FIFA on camera, then get yourself subscribed, like the video, and comment below as well. But let's dive into the squads. First and foremost, let's go with an 8k squad. Now, why would you want to go with an 8k squad? You could maybe ask yourself. Well, to be honest, I think, you know, if you're somebody who likes trading, I'm doing a lot of trading right now, so I need as many coins as I possibly can to get through it, then I think it's good to maybe not spend so much. This squad for 8k though, like genuinely, is very, very decent. And I think one thing I've noticed, because obviously I've been playing through Rivals during the trial, I've been pushed up quite far in the divisions, and I'm not playing against many teams like this, but the majority of the teams that you do come up against, if you do come up against a team like this, it's still very viable. So let's run through it. And just to note, most of these teams are basically built around a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1. Typically 2 centre mids or CDMs. Then you've got 2 central players, one that can play probably calm a little bit more than 2 wide players. You can always adapt it in a few different ways, whichever way you want. But let's head into this first squad. I said this is coming in at 8k. Let's start from the back. Tim Krul and Nets. That's to get the strong link into Ake and of course to Timber. Now, can I just point out here? I don't know if we can see this on the screen. You can't quite. He's 800 coins, he has 83 pace, with 80 acceleration and 86 sprint speed. He's a very fast boy, is all we're saying. Look, he's a very good player. I've used him in one of my starter squads during the week, linked him into Gravenberch, etc., which is a route you could possibly go down. Very, very good player. That's why you go Krul at the back. The keepers on this game are very, very good in general, so Krul will probably do a job. Then you get the strong link into Nathan Ake, which gets the link to Timber, which gets the link to Van Aanholt. I feel as if good fullbacks are hard to come by, and the fact that you can get 84 pace and 82 pace and still actually have just a team under 8k is still pretty good in my eyes. So Van Aanholt at left back, I'm not even going to try to say Mazraoui, is it? Something like that at right back from Ajax to get the strong link into Timber. Now let's move into the midfield. Decore and Gabamin in the middle. Both Everton lined up. It's very defensive, it has to be said, but at the same time, all you want tackles, pass it out to one of your wingers or your strikers. That's kind of what you want to go for. Speaking of the wingers, Pepe out wide on the right hand side, left footed, cut inside kind of job from him. Still very, very good for the coins, comes in at about 1,000. Bergwijn on the left, not even a rare card, but still good pace, good stats on him. He can definitely do a job, and I believe he still comes in at 4-4. Okay, well, no, he was never 4-4, but he's got this 2-star weak foot, which is not great, but still with the 4-star skill moves is not too bad. Armstrong up top with Daka. Now it's all about pace with these boys, getting them in behind and trying to go for those finishes. It doesn't matter if you got good shooting, because keepers are saving them for the most part anyway. One tip I would maybe give everybody is try out low-driven shots, is all I'm going to say. Anyway, nonetheless, these are 2 players who you can have going in up top. Decent stats on them as well. The only thing is Armstrong, 4-star weak foot is very, very good. Skill moves at 3 stars, not the greatest. Daka at 3-3. You're not going to get that much variation with players that cost that much, but you have the pace, you have the shooting, you have the potential dribbling there as well. They're very, very interesting players. 8k squad, I think, looks very, very good. Let's move into the next one. Right, here we go. Now, we said it was Premier League for the most part, and we have ventured wayward over to Portugal, actually. Same time zone, so if that's what we want to try and link it to, then maybe. But nonetheless, here is our squad that we're going to go with for the 15k. Now, I've only bumped it up a little bit. Again, this is just for people who really don't have that much of a budget. If you just haven't bought the Ultimate Edition, if you have been sat there and you're just been trading away your coins, you don't have much to play with, this is another good squad. Again, same sort of theory. It's same like 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 is what you want to go with here. We'll start from the back. Galini, just to get the strong link over to Davison Sanchez. Davison Sanchez is very, very good for the price, coming in at about 1,100. You get a shadow on him, you're laughing. Look at these defensive stats, are already really, really good. 75 pace is decent as well. Fredrickson at right back, probably one of the better right backs in the Premier League that's at least cheap. He's probably your most expensive player, actually, if I remember rightly. In the left-hand side of the defence, though, one of my favourite defenders I've used as well is Pepe. Like, why they've given me 80 pace, I don't know, but I'm not going to complain about it. The guy's absolutely cracked. Sanusi at left back alongside him. He's got good pace, but that's pretty much it. but it is a good strong link coming in there, of course, to Uribe as well, who we'll touch on in just a second. Also, Uribe is very, very good, but again, it's just the link ability for him is not really that great. But if you've got 2 Porto players down the left-hand side, then you can get that strong link, the double strong link, to get him in there, no problemo. He's very, very good. I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of, to be honest with you. He's just very standard. He's kind of a little bit like Lima, just a bit slower, I would say, more than anything. Pulisic in at left wing, strong link into Saul, who will be in the midfield alongside Uribe. Ziyech, I will play him probably in calm. I would play Rodrigo out wide. His passing is still decent, but I think Ziyech doesn't necessarily have the pace. I would definitely go with a 4-2-3-1 for this one, with Richarlison up front, of course, with the 5-star weak foot. Ziyech in behind, Pulisic wide, Rodrigo wide. Rodrigo can pass at least, anyway. He's actually got better passing than Pulisic, hilarious, and he will do a job going out wide. I'm trying to remember actually what he's got going for him here. Let's have a look. So 4-star skill move, so that's going to help you be cutting it. 700 coins for this card, by the way. The market is in the dirt. Weak foot is 3. Get him out wide on that right hand side. Cutting in, going for the shots is decent. It's a decent little squad for 15k, it has to be said. I do like it. I think if I was to say a weakness, it might have been potentially Ziyech there. You could swap Ziyech out for somebody a little bit quicker if you do want to bump the price. I think the best route to go down would probably be somebody like Rafinha or Lucas, or maybe even Leon Bailey if you do want an all-out winger. And then you can play Rodrigo calm behind Richarlison is another idea for this one. But for 15k, I think it's very, very good. If you want to bump the price up a little bit, get Leon Bailey in instead. But let's move on to the next one. Right, well, bumping it up in price a little bit here, 60k. I also feel like when people have coins, it's like you either have like less than 20k when you start the game, or you get a decent little pull, you've got one good player that you've been able to sell for a good chunk, and all of a sudden you've got 60k. All of a sudden you want to get stuck into Rivals. This team's as good as any in Rivals right now. It's sweaty, it looks very, very nice. Let's run through it. Now, we went with the Premier League keeper because I think he's kind of the cheapest 84 rated when it does come down to keepers. He's Spanish and he links to the centre-back pairing and defensive Spanish side that we're going to go with. So this is more like a Premier League Spanish hybrid, but it's essentially just La Liga for the most part, then Liga NOS with Grimaldo. Anyway, let's dive into it. We've used Sal to link them in, but Nacho Fernandez and Mario Hermoso at the back, I mean, these guys are not costing you a lot at all. 1.2k for Nacho Fernandez, and Hermoso is 900 on PlayStation as well. Of course, these prices, just to note, are based off PlayStation. Jesus Navas in at right back, the strong link to Hermoso does get him there nice and comfortably. Grimaldo in the left back does a job as well, 87 pace. As said, I think it's been a struggle to get very high-end pace on your fullbacks for the most part early on. These guys are good solutions. In at central midfield, this is just the way we've had to set it up for the Ken. We needed Jesus to have the strong links, so that's why he's back there. You could probably set it up in a couple of different ways. Nonetheless, Saul will play CDM alongside Onyeka. Onyeka, 75 rated with 87 pace, by the way. Really good defensive and physical status. Good dribbling too. Not really great passing stats, but pass it to Sal and he'll pass it off if he needs to. Sal's really, really good as well. I've used him when playing co-op Rivals with my friend. Very, very solid central midfield pairing. Of course, the pace of Onyeka is going to be fantastic for tracking back. This one I'd probably use more as a 4-2-3-1 with Foden behind. Foden's dribbling is really, really nice. It's very, very good. It's kind of what you want. We know that the finesses have been pretty good so far in this game, so getting him in those sort of positions, the shooting is good, long shots decent. Jesus up top with Rafinha and Zaha out wide. Now, these boys are quick. They've got the skills that they need to. Zaha, of course, with the 5-star. I don't think Rafinha has 5-star skills, does he? No, he doesn't. He's 4-4. I knew that. I was just double checking. Zaha coming in with the 5-star skills, though. Very, very solid. I think this is a really, really good team for 60k, to be honest with you. If you wanted to play with a few different positions, you can maybe go with Mahrez instead of Rafinha if you did want that 5-star skill. In terms of CDMs, you can maybe, of course, get Sissoko in instead of Onyeka if you want to bump it up just a little bit. It's not too much of a problem. There's a couple of interchangeable centre-backs that do come with La Liga that you could possibly move over to, I would say. I think the one I would probably go for on this one, but you would have to change the keeper, will be Diego Carlos, Diego Carlos, is it? I know who I mean. The Brazilian guy who plays in the centre-back in that league. You can just throw him in there. Not Militao, of course, because that wouldn't fit the 60k. Nonetheless, there's the 60k one. Let's move into our final sweaty boy. Let's jump into it. Well, and here we go. This is where things really do get very, very sweaty. Now, instantly, let's talk about the defence. As I said, I've stayed away from Premier League defences for the most part all the way through, just because they're very expensive. They're very expensive for very high-end players. put it this way, look, you can see Upamecano and LaCroix in there. They cost you 60k combined, which is more than the last team that we got. However, if those guys were in the Premier League, the equivalent in the Premier League is what, Varane and Van Dijk. That's pretty much what you would want statistics-wise, although Varane obviously a lot better than both of them. But besides the point, for that level, for the higher level of centre-back, you're going to be paying what that would have cost you 400, 500k for those two if they were in the Premier League. But Upamecano and LaCroix coming in at 60k or so for the Bundesliga is a very, very good deal. Good defender and Rousseau left back as well. Your keeper can be whoever it wants to be, really. It doesn't need to be anybody in particular. Just put Galassi in there because it kind of rounded me up nicely to 180k. Wan-Bissaka in at right back. I think it's just with the strong link to Martial. You could go with Mbabu for the strong link then. I think Martial would still be fine. But obviously that would bump you up another 20k. And Mbabu was fantastic though. If you did want to bump this up to 200k, then go for it. That's absolutely fantastic. But let's talk about the midfield. Sissoko and Fred in the CDM positions. That's kind of where you want it. You'd want Sissoko sitting back, Fred going forward. He can string a pass together. He's good dribbling, 4-star, 4-star. As far as I'm aware anyway. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, still the same. And then let's move on to our front players now. I'd have Havertz and Cam. This would be a 4-2-3-1, but you could play him up front. I will say that Havertz has the stones to play up front. I wouldn't have him getting behind. I'd have him just on balance, just sort of sitting there looking to play the pass into Martial, who will be up front, and Moira and Saint-Maximin, who will be on the wings. Saint-Maximin for me is obviously, he's one of my favourite players in real life with being a Newcastle fan, unfortunately, and he's just fantastic. He's a very, very good player, coming in at 25k's. Probably the second most expensive player in this squad, but he is very, very good. I think this is a good 180k squad. We're not going to go much further than 180k though. I think we're going to leave it there because not a lot of you will have that many coins to play with. If you have 180k already, you've done very, very well to trade away. I mean, I've already got a lot more than that, but I've been trading every single day. If you haven't had a chance to do this, you packed a couple of good players, you're sitting at 180k. But let me know what you think of the squads. Let me know if you pick any of them up and give them a try out. You know, I've tried pretty much all the players on this one in draft and in rivals and etc, etc, and they're all very, very good, pretty much certified to do you a job. My favorite one out of this one, I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably the 8k. I think it's very, very good for the money, but honestly, this team would do you a job in rivals right now. It'll be hard pressed to pick a better team than that outside of the guys who've got millions and millions of coins. So anyway, let me know if you do use any of these teams in the comments. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you have not. We'll see you for the next one.